Boys, today we are back and we have another quiz. I've been loving the quizzes, and this one should be fun. This quiz is just a general knowledge UFC quiz. There's no it's not like a topic, can I name every UFC event like I did for 2025? This is just general knowledge, random questions, random trivia, 50 questions, 25-minute time limit. And yeah, I've been loving the quizzes. This should be a fun one just to rack my brain. So let's do it. I might not know every answer. I'm hoping for like 45 out of 50 of these. All right. I haven't even looked at the questions, so I don't know what is on here. I just saw like the first few and I know the answers to them. So that's what I do. When I look for a quiz, I just look, if I know if I know the first few, then I know it's going to be a good one. So I'm hoping to get like a 45 out of 50, that would be a 90%. So that's my goal. Let's get right into it. First question. Most title fight wins in UFC history, that would be Jon Jones. Most fights in UFC history, that would be Derek Lewis. No. Anderson Silva? No, but we did get Anderson Silva for which UFC fighter has the longest win streak in UFC history. Okay. Most fights. Oh. Boys, I've recorded a lot of videos today, so my fucking brain feels like mush right now. So, if it takes me a minute to get some of these, then it's gonna take me a minute. All right. I'm sorry. I've done a lot of fucking videos today, so yeah, my brain's a little mush right now. But let's keep going. First ever UFC lightweight champion would be Jens Pulver. First ever person to defeat Islam Makhachev was Adriano Martins. Which pay-per-view number did Jorge Masvidal fight Nate Diaz for the BMF title? UFC 244. Who has the most knockdowns in UFC history? Derek Lewis? No. Knockdowns. It has to be like an older fighter. I don't know off the top of my head. We're going to move on. Who was the only person to have a win over Jon Jones? That's Matt Hamill. Who is the most popular MMA combat sports promotion in Asia? What is? Risen. No. One. Okay. I shouldn't have guessed Risen. See, that's what I'm talking about. I knew it was one, but anyway. Who is the UFC's secondary octagon announcer? That's Joe Martinez. I don't know why I put his first name. Last name of the brothers who bought the UFC in 2001. That's Fertitta. Bang. What country was Michael Bisping born in? England. UK? Wales? Ireland? Bro, what the This has got to be a trick question because it can't be just an easy question like that, right? Or am I tripping? Am I tripping, bro? What the Michael Bisping? I don't know. If it's not England, I have no idea. If it's not somewhere in the UK, I don't know. I'm sorry. That's got to be a trick question. Which fighter has the most consecutive title defenses? That'd be Demetrius Johnson. Which UFC fighter was cut for holding on to submissions? Cut for holding on to submissions. I don't know. I have no idea. We'll come back to it. Who holds the record for most attempted takedowns in a fight? That's Merab Dvalishvili. Which UFC fighter fought a one-armed opponent in the PFL? That was Justin Gaethje. Go back and watch it. It was pretty funny. Who won UFC 1? Got to be a Gracie, right? Royce Gracie. I knew it was a Gracie. Who did Kimbo Slice make his UFC debut against? I have no idea. The only reason I know Kimbo Slice is is because he was in the Drake and Josh Christmas movie. Is that bad? I'm sorry. That's the only. I don't know. I'm not gonna get that. There's no chance I get that. Who has the most bonuses in UFC history? That's my GOAT. Favorite fighter. Best lightweight. Best finisher. Most exciting guy in history. Charles Oliveira. Who is Rose Namajunas' husband? Former UFC heavyweight. That's Pat Creep Barry. The Creep. Who did Jon Jones beat to win the light heavyweight title? Mauricio Rua. Which numbered UFC event was Joe Rogan's first as a backstage interviewer? It's got to be one of the first ones, right? UFC 1? No. UFC 2? UFC 3? UFC 4? 5? 6? 7? 8? 9? 10? 11? 12? All right, UFC 12. That's not cheating, by the way, bro. If someone says that's cheating, that's not. I knew it was one of the beginning ones. I couldn't remember, the exact one, but, process of elimination, that's not cheating. That's fine, all right? Fuck off in the comments if you think differently. Who did the UFC trade Demetrius Johnson for 2019? That's Ben Askren. What is Lyoto Machida's nickname? No idea. Which clothing company started a short-lived rival promotion to the UFC, hosting fights like Fedor and Sylvia? That would be Affliction. Only reason I know that is because I watch Ariel Helwani, and he's, mentioned that before, Brush up on your shit if you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Helwani the GOAT. Shout out. Which fighter did Chris Weidman break his leg against at UFC 261? That would be Uriah Hall, who upsettingly KO'd GSP to end his first title reign. That was Matt Serra. Tallest UFC fighter in history, that is Stefan Struve. Which UFC women's judoka took home third place in judo at the 2008 Summer Olympics? Kayla Harrison? No, but we got Kayla Harrison for something. We got Kayla Harrison for which women's MMA fighter did the UFC sign to the PFL to fight Holly Holm at UFC 300? Okay. Judo. Who was a judo? Who did judo? Women. 2000. Oh, fucking duh. Ronda Rousey. See? That's what I'm talking about. My brain is fucking mush right now. Ronda Rousey. That was easy. Who did Gilbert Burns fight at UFC 273, putting a fight of the year contender? That was Chimaev. Who was the CEO of Bellator and Strikeforce? It's on the tip of my tongue. The big guy. He was big. He was bigger. Scott Coker. Scott Coker. Bang. Who presented the UFC BMF title? The Rock. How many seconds did it take for Conor McGregor to finish Jose Aldo? 13. Who handed Mateusz Gamrot the first loss in his UFC career? Damir Ismagulov? No. First loss in his UFC career. Graham. I knew it. I knew it was a weird name. Graham Kutat Eledzi. No, we're going to have to look up how to spell that. This is not cheating, by the way. I do this in all the quizzes. If I know the answer, I just don't know how to spell it, I look it up. All right? It's not cheating if I know the answer. Bang. Graham Kutat. Wait, I'm just now seeing that you can't see what I'm typing on the screen. Like, you can't see what I'm typing. So that sucks. I'm sorry for that. But yeah, anyway, let's keep going. Longest reach in UFC history. Struve? No, we already put Struve. John Jones? No, we already have him. Pereira? Max Holloway has long arms. Holloway? No. I don't know. Which UFC fighter made an appearance in Captain America Winter Soldier? I think that's GSP, right? Yep, GSP. I've never even watched that. I just know that. It's just a random fact. That's how my brain works. I remember shit. Who is the only fighter to finish Max Holloway? That's Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier. Which UFC lightweight title fight was scheduled 5 different times but never happened? That was Tony Ferguson versus Khabib. Which fighter was involved in the biggest bank robbery in UK history? I know this. I fucking know this, bro. It's Lee? Something Lee. His last name's Lee. Something Lee. I don't know. We'll have to come back. Who is Joe Rogan's longtime commentary partner? That would be Goldberg. Mike Goldberg. Goldberg. Who is the first UFC champion from South Africa? Dricus du Plessis. Who has the most significant strikes landed in UFC history? Significant strikes landed. It's got to be Holloway, right? Yep, Holloway. Which fighter owns the MMA promotion Eagle FC? Khabib Nurmagomedov? Okay, Khabib Nurmagomedov. We already put Khabib for the Ferguson. I don't know, that must be a mistake. Who did Brock Lesnar defeat to become the UFC heavyweight champ? Randy Couture. I wouldn't have known that unless I did the naming every UFC champion list and I didn't get Randy Couture. I forgot about him. He was the fucking double champ and I forgot about him. So that's the only reason I know that. If I did this quiz like a week ago before doing that, I wouldn't have known that. So shout out to me doing that other quiz, I guess. Randy Couture. Which Kazakh fighter holds a 100% finish rate undefeated record? That's Shavkat Rakhmonov Rachmanov. Shavkat Rachmanov. Had to spell it really quickly. All right, let's see here. Let's just move this down. All right, perfect. Who holds the fastest knockout in UFC history? Jorge Masvidal. It's easy. Who was Amanda Nunes' final fight at UFC 289? Irene Aldana. Who was the first ever UFC double champ? Conor McGregor. What numbered event was the first ever event in New York? UFC 205. Alvarez McGregor. Bang. All right, so we have 43 out of 50. What is Lyoto Machida's nickname? I don't know. Who did Kimbo Slice make his UFC debut against? I don't know. I'm never going to get either of those. I'm sorry. I'm a casual, maybe. Machida's nickname, I might be a casual, but... Which UFC fighter was cut for holding submissions? I don't know that either. I'm never going to get that. What country was Michael Bisping born? Oh. Guernsey? How do you spell Guernsey? Guernsey. This has to be it, right? Wow. I don't know that. I don't know where Bisping was born. What's the most knockdowns in UFC history? Who has the most knockdowns in UFC history? Oh. Donald Cerrone. Bang. I knew it. I just had to think about it for a fucking second. All right. What did we not get over here? Longest reach in UFC history. Who has the longest reach in UFC history? I don't know. Oh, I'm one away from my goal. Didn't I want to say I want to hit 45? Maybe I just thought that in my mind, but I want to hit 45 out of 50 at least. That's a 90. Longest reach. Adesanya? Did I already try him? Adesanya? Yeah. Oh, Sean Woodson. Really? Sean Woodson. Huh. I don't know that one. Longest reach. Which fighter was involved in a bank robbery? That's the last one on this side that we don't have. UFC fighter involved in a bank robbery. It's Lee. It's something Lee. Bill Lee? Wait, if it's Lee, it would work because they do last names. Or first names, right? Don't they do first names? I don't know. We're going to have to fucking call it here, I think. I don't know these last 6. 2, 3. How many do I not have on this side? Bisping born, cut for holding submissions, Kimbo Slice debut, Machida's nickname. That's 4. So there's 2 over here. Longest reach, bank robberies, Lee. It's something Lee. I know that. Boys, I might call it here. I think I'm going to call it 44 out of 50. It took us 12 minutes. And if I'd stop it right now, it'd be perfect. Let's give up. We got an 88. We should have got a 90. I'm sad. All right, 88's still a B plus, so that's okay. Let's see what we missed. Robelis de Spain. Damn. Robelis de Spain has the longest reach in UFC history. The guy was in the UFC for like 5 seconds. Like, come on, man. Like, really? Robelis de Spain, we're counting that? The guy was in the UFC for like 3 fights. But I guess. I feel like I remember hearing that somewhere. Michael Bisping was born in Cyprus. Isn't that near Italy? Right? Or somewhere in the... I don't know. I never would have got that. I didn't know that. Lee Murray. Fucking bank robber. I knew it was Lee something. I should get a point for that. Fuck it. I'm giving myself a point. So that's 45. So we got a 90. Fuck that. I'm giving myself a point. I knew the guy's first name. That's bullshit. Why could I write Khabib's first name right here, but I couldn't write above it? And it didn't count for Khabib down here. That's bullshit. I should have got that. UFC fighter cut for holding submissions. Rusimar Palhares. Never heard of him. Never knew that stat. Kimbo Slice make his UFC debut against Houston Alexander. Didn't know that either. Never heard of him. Lyoto Machida's nickname is the Dragon. Okay. All right. I didn't know that, but I'll take it. I'm giving myself a 90 because the Lee Murray, I had Lee, so Yeah, fuck it. I'm giving myself that. I'm sorry. I got that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. This was pretty easy. I'm not gonna lie. I only got not six. I only got six wrong. So, and it was also pretty fun. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you took it, what you guys got, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and catch you guys in the next one. Peace.